Good morning. It's Deborah Leanne, and time for a bit of authentic life radio. And I'm going to focus on getting here and present so that the message that I send forth to you, the intention and the clarity of it comes through. This is a tricky one. I'm going to be exploring the whole concept of perspective and how our perception of life, of relationships, of issues, of people really filters and creates an experience that we may or may not be wanting. And how can we shift it? So to get started today, let's just breathe in and get as clear and clean and fresh a perspective on this moment and what the next 15, 20 minutes might bring for us. We're at a place of such fast evolution where new insights and new wisdom and downloads on a huge, huge level are coming at us from all directions. And it's hard to absorb and integrate. And it's showing up like is a lot of chaos, tons of change in every direction that we're in. Relationships are shifting and growing. Some of them might be outgrowing the parameters of what were originally the plans for the relationship, and others are growing apart, and some are growing stronger. And the more I'm looking at the relationship with me and the universe and the planet Earth and the country and politics and just right here in my community and my neighborhood, I realize how I have such a potent part to play in all of this. And I'm going to speak from a personal perspective, yet I really hope that when you listen to it, you put it into your perspective. I do not have the capital T truth here. I am sharing what is true for me today. And tomorrow it may not even be the same because of the quick growth and change that we're all going through. And to be fully authentic and honest and telling my truth, I need to make sure that you know that it is not your truth. And you need to find what is your truth. That is key. So where we're at in terms of perspective is there's one of my very, very first experiences with personal and professional growth was in a course where, in the basic course, in the very beginning, she was showing us how one person can be looking at something and be seeing stripes. And they see the stripes so clearly. It's almost like somebody standing at one end of a flag of the United States. They're seeing the stripes. The other person is standing at the corner right in the middle, and if you ask them what they were seeing, they might say stripes going one way or another way. But if you have somebody that's standing in the corner on the navy blue part of the flag with the stars, they're going to describe what they see is different. And this is what we do. We all see things from where we stand. We're all looking at what we think is the flag. And we think it's the same corner of the flag. And even if we are standing at the same corner of the flag, we're still going to bring all of our individual experiences, our upbringing, our cultural and societal, our heritage, all of the norms, all of the things that we've been taught. And when you bring that all forward, we have lots of filters. And these filters create different lenses through which we see the world, through, how we see relationships, how we view people and politics, and how we look at problems, how we deal with money. And what I would like for you to figure out is, if you have a perspective on someone, let's just use an example, that there's someone who really, every time you're in the room with them, it just is an energy drain. They say stuff, it just grates on your nerves, or they say things and you just aren't in agreement with them. And maybe it's somebody that you need to work with, or that you're in a family situation with, or they're close to someone that you love. And when you're in that situation and you are dreading being in the same room with them, what are you looking for? What perspective are you bringing to it? Chances are you're bringing the perspective that this is going to be less than ideal, being with this person. And what if you went into the next event where they were going to be with the fresh eyes of, I wonder what I can learn from this person. I wonder how I can be a contributor in this relationship. I wonder what I can learn, what I can see differently that I haven't seen. What can we do to shift the energy between us? Coming from a place of curiosity and discovery, and that we really don't know the outcome, gives there greater space for a different outcome. Gives there a different space for the person to show up possibly a little differently. Maybe in a way that you could grow to have a different appreciation of them. There's an old saying, and I wonder if I can remember it, that what we focus on, where we put our attention, it appreciates. And what we appreciate and gets our attention can grow. And this is true. If you think about children or pets, the pets that get the attention, good and bad, that they get the training, they get the expectations, knowing they're going to be fed and watered and cared for and walked and loved and groomed, they will respond in a different way than pets that are neglected. And so when we focus our attention on the good, like just looking for the good in a relationship or in a specific person or even in a problem, is it possible to see it from a different angle, to walk around and look at it from a different way? I have a mirror that I got at a flea market or something years ago, but it has a beautiful frame and it's beveled, and it's the hanging ribbon on the back cord is it's set to go horizontal, to be hung horizontally. And yet I find it really beautiful to be hung vertically. And it totally shifts the energy when I shift the direction of which way I want to hang that mirror. Do I want it to be vertically? Do I want it to be... And I've done it several different ways over my fireplace to see which one I like. And sometimes I just like it one way for a while and then I shift it. And it's funny how, to me, it feels like it changes the energy in the room. But maybe it's just my awareness is changed because I'm seeing it on a different level, in a different direction. And it's the same with everything we look at, with the money in our bank account. Do we look at it and go, it's not enough? Look at all the money going out. What if we were to really celebrate every time we get a deposit? What if we were to celebrate every time we make a bill payment and say thank you for having the money to pay that bill? What if we looked at it like oh my gosh, look what's in my bank account. It's positive. That's great. I'm not overdrawn. And came at it from, wow, there's room to grow, and I'm all about that. What if we looked at relationships the same way? I notice when I start getting snippy in relationships, it's because I'm not coming from a place of appreciation. If my perspective was, I am so grateful to have this person in my life, and I love them. What do I love about them? Let me get curious and really look for that. What are those special things that make this person unique in my life? Where is it that we have fun? Let's create more of that. What happens is when I get to a place where I start looking at all of the things that are wrong, I can always find more. And it makes me wonder if I even want to be in this relationship. It's the same with things that I don't like to do with my work. So I'm looking at every opportunity here where we can focus on something and shift our lenses. And I'm not saying put rose-colored glasses on and totally see things that aren't there, but changing the color that we look at it, changing the curiosity quotient where we're not coming at it like we already know this person's going to do this, that, and the other, because we don't. And what if we went in saying, I'm looking for a way to be pleasantly surprised in what can be created in this meeting today? Or I'm coming to this meeting with an open mind that I can learn something new from this person. I wonder what they're here to teach me today. It's subtle yet profound when we actually take the control that is always at our disposal, get back in the driver's seat, and choose how we want to relate to the world. And this perspective comes to me because of noticing it was a combination of things, which is how these topics always seem to come, is when several situations, personal, professional, entertainment-wise, songs, things come across my awareness, my screen of awareness, and they have this common theme. And it culminated last night in a show I was watching. Well, there were a couple of ones. I went and saw Wonder Woman last night, which I highly recommend. But the other thing was something on Netflix where everybody else thought that this person was guilty. And the one gal said, no, no, she's not. And I really want to figure out a way that we can prove her to be innocent. And how she pushed, despite everyone else's, the history and the persons that she hung around with and all of the various facts that were pointing at her being guilty, were all really circumstantial. And this one friend of the alleged guilty person said, no, I'm going to take a stand. I believe she's innocent. Let's find a way to prove that. And how she had to completely shift these people, her whole team all believed the woman was guilty. And it's so, when we come at a place of love and wanting to see the best in people, very often there is so much good to look for. And sometimes it's true, they are guilty. They did do whatever it is that is the issue. And I'm not saying that we discount people for when they do wrong. But there is a chance of being innocent until proven guilty. There is this, we can choose how we want to see this person. And very often then it becomes and I can't think of the sculptor's name, the something effect, the Venus effect. And this sculptor created a beautiful woman, and to the point where she became real in his mind. And she was so lifelike, so beautiful. And when we and there's the whole Geppetto and his puppet. When he created him, he wanted him to be a real boy. He made him in a likeness of being a real boy, to the point where he turned into a real boy. And what I'm saying is, very often we can shift reality, what some people would say is reality, by seeing things differently. And I am curious if there's something in your life right now that could use an upgrade of your perspective, a shift in your perspective, a different lens of your perspective, where you could either put something under a microscope and zoom in and see something from a different angle, or zoom out, put your eagle eyes on and go way up high and look at it from afar and see things from a broader perspective. What can you shift in your perception and your perspective to bring more good into your life, more joy, more love, more peace, more vibrancy in your health, a different view of your body? There's the anorexic disease that has plagued so many of us in the recent century. That is a distorted perception of when typically a woman looks in the mirror and sees her body and sees it as overweight, whatever that means to her. Of course, it's probably overweight in her mind because she wants to be less, to the point of almost disappearing and dying. And we look at ourselves in the mirror with such a perception where we don't very often see the beauty. We don't see our bodies like others do. Someone who doesn't have legs, or who has legs that are less than optimal, would look at us and go, wow, look at her amazing legs. Look how strong they are. And yet we may look and have all kinds of comments about the shape of them, or the muscle tone or lack of, or the wrinkles around the knees, or whatever. How can we shift that to, wow, these are amazing legs. Look at these feet that carry me around every day. And I love my belly because it means I've enjoyed some amazing food. And I got to be pregnant 3 times. Isn't that exciting? All of that, looking at the years that I wear on my face with love, that each of those wrinkles meant that I got to be on the Mediterranean sunbathing, or I got to live 6 decades. And how can we appreciate what we're seeing in the mirror, what we're seeing in others, what we're seeing in our relationship, what we're creating in our life's work, with the eyes of someone who loves and appreciates and honors us? Rachel Jane Groover, one of my teachers, has said to us on many occasions that women need appreciation. We need it from each other. We need to be honored and appreciated by the masculine. And we need it from ourselves as well. So where would you like to start? Would it be around appreciating something about yourself in a new way? Would it be about looking for the good and appreciating something in one of your relationships? Or is it more about shifting your perception and your perspective when it comes to reading things on Facebook, the news that you look at or listen to. I invite you to shift that in some way for you. And there's my phone. So on that note, I will invite dialogue in whatever way it comes to you this week. If this, when you listen to this brings up a question, or you're interested in learning more about what the Shine program is all about, the first workshop is coming up in a few weeks to shine, and it's more about your unique brilliance and strengths and talents. And the second one will be diving deeper into how do you share and shine so that you can share your voice and your value and your vision with the world on a bigger level. And then there will be following up some leadership development opportunities, as well as a Shine overnight retreat. If any of that speaks to you on a way that you know this is time, you know you're ready to do this possibly uncomfortable leap into being the next biggest, best version of you, connect with me. I look forward to our conversation. And until that time, or until our next time where we're listening to each other, take good care. Bye-bye.